Hello, good morning, and welcome to our live stream class for Parkinson's with me, Sally from Reach Your Peak. For those of you who haven't met me before, I am one half of an exercise community called Reach Your Peak, which is run by myself and fellow physiotherapist Maria Lewis, and we are passionate about making sure that people with Parkinson's have access to the correct advice and exercise that they need to help treat their symptoms. So we're going to go through today a short session, which is going to include some stretch and mobility whilst we're up in standing. We're then going to go on and do some leg strength exercises. Again, that will be done in standing. And then we're going to finish off with a little moment of mindfulness and a posture reset. All of the exercises will be done in standing. So you need to make sure that you're confident to balance on your own without the need for any walking aids or assistance. You may want to have a chair, as you can see I've got behind me there, you may want to have a chair to hold on to for some of the exercises just for a little bit of support, but if you need anything more than that, then perhaps go to one of our chair-based videos, which may be more suitable. With all of the movements that I do, if you experience any pain or discomfort, then make sure that you stop or modify to something that suits you better. If you feel unwell, make sure that you stop. And if you're exercising alone, it's a really good idea to have a method of communication nearby, such as a mobile phone, should you need to reach out for any help. You need to have some space to move around in. You're going to need, or possibly will need, a chair, as I've mentioned. But apart from that, there's no special equipment that you need for this routine. Okay, so I'm going to make my way over to my exercise space. And if you can do the same. And we're going to stand in the center of that exercise space with our feet just a little bit wider than hip width apart. And I want you to let your arms hang as heavy as they can. So you're letting the weight of the arms pull the shoulders down away from the ears. Just gently tighten the tummy muscles and tuck the bottom underneath, and take some wide, full breaths for me here. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Oh, I had a little chunk in my screen now. I'll do that again. In through the nose and out through the mouth. One last one. Fantastic, well done. Now we're ready to start our mobility section. So we keep that nice wide stance. I want you to turn your palms face forward and then bring the hands just up and out to the side. Think about creating a right angle between your index finger and your thumb and lengthen out through the tips of the fingers. So we're making that a very deliberate position. You're then going to turn the thumbs forwards towards the screen and then all the way around so that the backs of the hands are now pointing forwards. And then we go the opposite direction, turn the thumbs towards the back of the room, opening the front of the chest. Straighten your elbows, lengthen through the fingers, turn, and then round the other way. Inhale, come forwards. Exhale, go back. Twice more. The last one. Opening out and lengthening the fingers down and out. Good. And then we'll just let the arms soften a little bit. Make sure those feet are firmly planted at about hip width apart. You're then going to bring your arms up and out to the side and then bend the elbows so your fingertips are behind your ears. Lengthen across the front of the chest by pushing those elbows back, and then I'd like you to lean over into a side bend as far as you can. Excuse me, as far as you can one way. Come up into center and then over the other way as far as you can. We're going to come back up in the middle, and then I want you to bring your elbows together. Try and bring the points of the elbows together and then push them out wide again. Let's go side to side once more. Over and up. Over and up. And then we'll do that same thing when we bring the elbows together and push them open. Once more through that pattern. Over and up. Over and up, elbows together, Push them out wide. And then hands coming down by your side. Good. So that's a nice way for us just to open here across the front of the chest. We're now going to do a little bit of a stretch for the lower back and up the backs of your legs. And what I'd like you to do for that one is to bring your hands behind your back. Now you stay facing the screen. I'm going to turn around so that you can see what I'm asking you to do, which is bringing those hands round behind the back and pushing them down towards the floor. Your position is going to be a nice wide stance, keeping the chest open, and then with straight knees, we're going to fold forwards. And you're trying to keep the eye line lifted, getting that stretch through the legs, through the back, and then you come up tall. Good, let's do 3 more of those. So we go forwards, feel that pull and the stretch, up you come tall. Again, forward, send the hips back. And come up tall. Once more, forward, sending the hips back. And come up tall. And then let your arms rest and relax. Great stuff, well done. So we're going to add a few more layers, a few more variations onto those stretches. If you want to modify them or revert to one of our previous versions, then of course that's absolutely fine. You do whatever suits your body best. We're going to come back to that hand behind the ears position. And we were doing side bends before, but this time I want to bring in a little bit of trunk or torso rotation, because that's an area that we see with people with Parkinson's getting very tight and stiff. So what we're going to do to try and help that is you're going to do a twist and come back. Go to the same side again. Twist and come back. Great stuff. Let's do 8 of those. Round and back. Good. Push and back. 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. 2 to go. Super stuff. Well done. Let's just bring those arms down. Relax them out a little bit, and then we're going to repeat, but go into the other side. So we'll do 10 in total. Up and out. We did 2 practices before we did our 8 on the other side. So we're just going to go straight in with 10 this way. Off we go. 1 and back. Again. 2. 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one is 10. Great stuff. Well done. We'll bring those arms down and let them soften there a little bit for me. We're going to go back to that forward fold that we did. Remember, hands behind the back and leaning forwards, and that stretches the backs of our legs. But the way we're going to switch that up this time, and I'm just coming sideways so that you can see, you stay facing the screen. The way that we're going to switch that up is that you have 1 foot forward with 1 foot back. Now, when you're in this split stance position, try not to have the feet really narrow like you're on a tightrope, because that's going to be really difficult to balance. So I want you to have width in your stance from that sideways movement as well as in that forwards back. So once you're in that nice wide stance, hands are behind the back, and we're going to do the same thing when we lean forwards with a straight back, and you're going to feel the pull all the way up the back of that front leg. Up you come again. Let's repeat, going forwards and back. 3 more. Good. Keep the back straight, keep the chest open. Lovely. And then bring your feet back into that nice strong parallel stance. Just relax the arms a second, and then we're going to repeat the same thing, but with the other leg in front. If you're not comfortable in split stance, you can still join in with us by doing the same movement, keeping the feet in parallel. Okay, so other leg is going to come in front now, making sure that you've got width in your stance and your hands are behind your back. Chest is lifted, shoulders are down, and you fold forwards with a straight back, sending the hips and tailbone back, and up you come. 4 more. Good. 2 to go. Last one. Fabulous, well done. And then coming back into a nice strong stance position with your arms hanging down by your side. Brilliant, so we've worked on rotation, we've worked on loosening up the backs of the legs, and you have had a little bit of a balance challenge as well in that split stance. I'm going to add one more little component to it, but you can, of course, go back to any of the previous versions if you prefer. What we're going to do this time is just take the arms into a straight elbow position. So we've now got, at the moment, got palms down towards the floor, right angle between the index finger and the thumb, and lengthening out through your fingertips. So we're making it a very, very deliberate, purposeful movement, and that's something that we know you need to do with your movements for Parkinson's, making them very thought through, very deliberate. So let's get that strong stance position. Once you're there, we're going to twist at the shoulders by taking palms up to the ceiling, and then all the way down to the floor. Good, up to the ceiling, and all the way down to the floor. So we did this before in a shallow V position, and if that's more comfortable for you, you can stay there. If you're happy to take those arms that little bit higher, then you do that. You might notice some crunches and clicks around the shoulder. As long as you're not getting any discomfort from that, as long as there's no pain, it's okay to carry on. If it feels uncomfortable, maybe just miss this little section out. We're thinking this movement, straight elbows, reach out through the fingertips, twice more. Good, and then you can let those arms just soften there for me for a moment. Keep your weight just a little bit forwards. Think about lifting the ribs up off the pelvis and squeezing your bottom cheeks together. Once you're in that position, we're going to go back to the arms out if you're happy to do so, and we're going to twist with straight arms. To and round. Good. Join in if and when you're ready. If you don't like this version, you can go back to bent elbows as we were doing before. Keep going around for 3 more. 2 more, and 1 last one, and then bring your arms down by your side, roll the shoulders up, round and back, and we go the other way, arms up and out to the side, and then we twist. Good, making sure I've got enough room. 2, 3, using any one of your variations that you prefer. 6, 7, 8, 2 to go. Lovely, and then letting the arms float down by your side, pull up and lift through the crown of the head. Just soften the arms a little bit. Well done. So we've had lots of rotation, we've had lots of lengthening up the backs of the legs. So you should be feeling a little bit looser, a little bit more mobile. The next section that we're going to go ahead and work on together is going to be focused more around strength and strength in your legs. We're going to begin with a squat type movement. So for this, can you please make sure that you've got your feet wider than hip width apart and that they are as parallel as you can comfortably make them. Some people prefer to be a little bit sort of turned out at 10 to 2, but if you can bring those toes pointing forward towards the screen, then great. Just start with your hands on your hips to begin with, and a very simple knee bend, and then come back up. So we don't want to overcomplicate the movement, just think about bending the knees and then coming back up. So this is going to help to loosen your ankles, your knees, and getting you ready to hopefully see if we can deepen this movement a little bit more. So just have a pause there. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I want you to do, but you stay facing forward so that you can watch. From that knee bend that we've just practiced, let's see if you can just send your hips back a little bit further, as if you were going to go and sit on a chair that's not there. So you send your hips back into that seated position, push back up nice and tall. When you come back up, tuck the bottom underneath. Send the hips back and come back up. Brilliant. So that's the squat. That's all there is to it. We don't have to overcomplicate it. We're going to go next with a little movement pattern. Excuse me. And that movement pattern is we're going to go down as far as we can into the squat, as much range as you've got available. You're then going to come up to about halfway, then you go back down to full range before we come all the way back up into a tall stand position. Let me talk you through that movement again. So we go into a full available range, and this is going to vary for all of us, just go as far as you can. And then we go up to about halfway. You then come down the full range again, and then all the way up tall. Okay, so that's our movement. It's going to help strengthen the muscles in our legs, in our glutes. It's going to be good. Alrighty, we're going to do a set of 10 of those. Do what you can. Hands onto hips. We go down into our full range squat. We come up about halfway. We drop down to full range again before coming up tall. That's 1 rep. Away we go. Down, up, down, all the way up. Keep going. Marvelous. All the way down, halfway up, all the way down, all the way up. And again. Five to go. Three more. The last two. The last one. Excellent, well done. And then you can just let the legs and the feet loosen up into whatever comfortable position is right for you. So that was great, as I said, for strengthening the thighs and the glutes. But why do you want to do that? Why do you need to do that? From a functional perspective, we need those muscles, that power in our legs for things like getting up out of a chair. Yeah? Getting up off the toilet. Having that strength to be able to drive up is a really, really important functional movement. And with regards to strength, if we don't use it, we lose it. So that's why we would choose those sorts of exercises. Let's think of some other functional leg exercises. What about walking upstairs? So needing that power again, but we're not in a parallel stance like we would be if we're getting up in a chair. We've got one foot in front of the other. So let's vary that movement pattern we've just been working on. You stay facing forward so that you can see what I want you to do. I'm coming sideways so that you can see the pattern a little bit better. We're going to go into a split stance, and we worked on a split stance when we were doing those forward fold exercises, didn't we? Hands are onto hips. We're going to bend our knees so we go into a little split stance squat. You're then going to come up halfway. We go down to full range and then up into standing. So it's the same movement pattern that we were working on before, same muscle groups, but they're in a different position. So when we think about our function, then that's going to spill over into our day-to-day activity. So let's go for a set of 10 with this leg out in front, hands onto hips nice and tall. We bend as far as we can. Then we straighten, but just to halfway. Bend back to as far as we can before coming all the way up tall. Brilliant. Do that again. So down, up, all the way down, all the way up. All the way down, halfway up. All the way down, all the way up tall. Great, keep it going. So you may want to hold on to something for a little bit of balance for this one, because in a split stance it is quite challenging. We're going to do 5 more. Three more. Last 2. And last 1. Great, well done. So that's one side. We need to make sure that you're even though. So we're going to do exactly the same set of movements, another 10 repetitions, but with the other leg out in front If you want to have your chair to hold on to for a little bit of balance, then of course you can. Tuck the bottom underneath, shoulders down, let's go for it. So we go as far down as you can and halfway up. Back to that full range, then all the way up. That's 1 rep. 9 more to go. Good, keep a nice steady pattern going. Down, halfway up. Down, all the way up. Down, halfway up. Down, all the way up. 5 more. We're on to the last 3 now. And last one. Great, well done. And then loosen out through your legs a little bit. Come and settle in whatever is a comfortable position for you. So you may be happy here in standing. You might find that you want to go and sit down into a chair. Pick what's right for you, because we're just going to finish off this live stream session with a little mindful moment. So I would like you to settle in towards whatever position you've chosen. If your feet are on the floor, feel the connection of them in towards the ground. If you're sitting, feel the bottom in contact with the seat of the chair. Nice, steady breaths. And just for a moment, I want you to pay attention to what you can hear. I know that you can hear me, but what other noises are there? And just notice what they are. Doesn't matter what they may be. You don't need to do anything about it, just notice another noise apart from my voice. Now bring your attention back into your breath. Inhaling through the nose and out through the mouth. Good. Now I want you to pay attention to what you might be able to smell. Switch your focus to that for a moment. Doesn't matter what it is, you don't need to do anything about it. There might not be anything there for you to notice at all. And now let's bring your attention back to your breath. And then we're going to finish off with a body scan, starting from the crown of the head, feeling a lift through the spine. Let the weight of the arms pull the shoulders down and create a little gap between your belly button and your breastbone. Whatever surface is contact with the floor, whether it's your feet or your bottom, feel that connect into your supporting surface. One last big inhale, exhale. And if you've closed your eyes, then just blink them open for me. Fantastic, well done. So we've worked on a few components of your exercise prescription together. We've worked on some stretch and mobility. There were some components of balance within that. We did some strength work, some functional strength work for our legs. And then we finished off with just a little pause with some mindful moments. If you are curious about how all of that fits into your overall exercise prescription, please take a look at some of our other videos where we try and explain that as best as we can. If you've got any other questions, we'd love you to get in touch. Put some questions in the comments. You can contact us via our website. And if there's anything else that you'd like to see for our live classes, please do ask. We're going to be back next Monday at 10:45, and that's going to be our last live stream class for 2024, which is exciting. So we're going to go through a little fun, festive workout for that one, working on your aerobic component of exercise. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I will see you again for your next workout, whenever that may be. Take care. Bye-bye.